2021 meeting of the Greenwood Public Works meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. Roll call, please, Amanda.
Mr. Rutherford.
Here.
Mr. Hoover.
Here.
Mr. Kaufman.
Here.
Minutes of the regular session of our last meeting of June 7, 2021 have been distributed to members of the board. Any corrections, additions, or deletions from staff? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So, second.
Mr. Collins, Mr. Rutherford, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. First on our agenda tonight are James and Jenny Pruitt, 1153 Rockwell Drive. Mr. and Ms. Pruitt?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, Mr. Pruitt, good to hear from you.
Yeah.
We understand you have a fence encroachment request. Tell us what you'd like to do.
Plan on putting a 4-foot chain link fence in, one of the black vinyl coated fences in. Like I said, I think it should go no further than maybe 5 to 7 feet inside that encroachment. And then, we'll do 811 and everything before we go out there and dig it and everything. All the people we contacted have gotten back with us and said it's fine, as long as, we don't interfere with anything they got going on in there.
Mr. Pruitt, you sound like maybe you received a copy of a memo from Jeff Weaver of the city setting forth some potential conditions that we might consider in granting your request. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, let me pull that up real quick. Yep, I've got it right here.
Okay. You see those 3 conditions down there. Are there any problems that you would have with any of those 3 conditions?
Nope. That pretty much goes with what I was expecting.
Okay.
I'll move for approval.
Sorry, anything different? Anything good to you?
I'll move for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Rutherford.
Second.
Subject to those 3 conditions.
I'll be close.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. Have a good evening.
All right. Yep, you too. See you guys.
Next is 1371 Bob White Court, Santosh Joy, the homeowner.
Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
how are you?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good. We understand you have a fence encroachment request as well. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what you'd like to do.
I just installing the fence. I just wanted to make sure I'm, following the covenant. Looks like I had someone from the city came over, looked at it. They said everything looks good. Just towards the back, I'm actually going into the easement, so I just wanted to get this approval from you guys.
Raise it up.
Did you happen to receive a memo from Jeff Weaver outlining some potential conditions?
From Jeff, I had.
Basically, you want to say what you want to do.
Hello?
Yeah, are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to get the approval for so I can go ahead and get the fence installed.
I think we're having some technical overlap there. I'm not sure what the other voice is.
Mr. Hoover, the email may have been coming from Paul Gianni at the attachment with the memo.
Okay. Memo I have has Jeff's signature.
That's correct. Jeff Weaver prepared the memo, but it was distributed via email by Paul Gianni.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Joy, that was a memo dated June 16th.
Oh yeah, I just saw that right now. Okay.
Okay.
So this is okay.
And there were 5 conditions that are suggested in there. Did you see those?
Yes, the proposed encroachment should be constructed on the corner lot for the, okay, so.
Yes, all 5 of those. Do you have any
Okay.
problems with any of those conditions?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. You want to go one by one, so I make sure that I understand correctly
Sure.
what those for. Okay.
Daniel, you want to take the lead on that?
Sure. So the first one, proposed encroachment would be constructed on the corner lot. So per the Unified Development Ordinance section 10-03-09 will only allow encroachment to be 4 feet in height from anything that extends out in front of the building line. Basically, here, since your property is a corner lot, That applies to, your lot essentially has two front sides.
Yeah.
Okay, so on your east side, next to Southwood Drive, there can only be 4 feet in height.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think I checked with the South Lake community. Even they also recommend only 4. They cannot have anyone have more than 4 feet height. So we are good. Okay. So number 2.
Number 2, that the encroachment will be constructed to allow for adequate drainage, and if it is determined by the engineering division or the stormwater department that a drainage issue is being created, the homeowner will be responsible to correct said drainage issue, and that would be at the homeowner's cost.
Okay. Okay. Is that the usual standard for
Yes.
every
Yeah,
residence?
pretty
Okay.
much all 5 of these are the usual standard.
Okay.
That the encroachment be located no closer than 5 feet from the existing storm sewer. And if it is allowed to cross, no post from the fence, no fence post shall be within 4 feet of the line. So that would apply specifically in your case to your west property line and your south property line.
Okay.
To bring that to your attention. So no closer than 5 feet.
5 feet. So when you are saying about not closer than 5 feet from the existing storm sewer, I don't know where the storm sewer lines are. So that's something probably, help me.
Right, so actually, if you jump down to number 5,
Okay.
Indiana 811 is notified prior to constructing the fence, so that all.
Oh, okay.
So it would get marked there with either paint or flags along so you would know where that storm line is.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. 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 Sounds good.
And then going back to number 4, any work and any easement be necessary by any of the utilities or the city, the owner shall be responsible for removal and replacement of encroachment at their sole expense, and the owner holds harmless utilities or the city for any drainage to the encroachment to the fence.
Okay. Okay. So what you're saying is tomorrow there is some flood or anything happens or something, if the utility vehicle has to run through, so I may have to remove the fence. Is that what it is?
May have to remove the fence so that any utilities could install in cables, or potentially like the stormwater department, if they had to access it to perform maintenance on that pipe. Yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Johnson said drainage, but I think he actually meant if there's any damage that needs to be taken care of in there. Like your fence, it's going to be your responsibility to take it down and put it back up if you wish.
Okay, so I need to take, well, I don't know, is that easy to take it out? Because once you pour the concrete, they must be solid, right? I don't know how you can take it out. Probably you may have to break it.
You wouldn't have to take it all out, just one section.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's not only just applicable to me, even to my neighbors, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Joy, do you have any problems with any of those conditions?
I don't think so, because this looks like a very standard, what everyone is following, so I don't really see any issues.
I think there are a standard.
Okay.
Is there a motion the board wants to make?
I would move we approve the request subject to those conditions.
Second. Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank
I
you.
do have one question. So
Certainly.
I have my neighbor, the adjacent neighbor, he also has a fence. So is there any covenant says that like how much feet I need to stay between him and my fence? Is there like a 2 feet is what people say is more recommended? Because just to make sure we have enough room to take care of the, the lawn, even if you cannot run a lawnmower, at least we should be able to, have enough room to run a weed eater to just take care of the grass. Is there any kind of
Mr. Joy, I guess once you identify the location of the storm sewer pipe along your western boundary and southern boundary.
Mhm.
Condition number 3 states that the fence would be no closer than 5 feet to that line. So to
Mhm.
answer your question, you would be providing 5 feet between your fence and the storm sewer, which is approximately along the property line. So there would still be plenty of space to mow, weed on that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joy. Have a good evening.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Next on our agenda is 804 Orchard Lane, Lot 14, Marcy Backus. I understand Ms. Backus is going to be appearing virtually. Ms. Backus, are you with us
She was out there, I saw.
tonight?
Yeah, I thought I saw.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Barb, you want to come forward? Barb?
Hi, Marcy, it's Barb Emmer, and I'm just gonna give a little bit of background on this, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I met you at your house.
Right.
Okay, so Marcy is requesting a waiver to allow a long hauling trailer on her property. And what happened with this situation, we were performing some kind of a routine investigation for a different property in her subdivision when code was, and so we noticed this hauling trailer. It was obvious that it was longer than 18 feet. There's some pictures up here that show, there's a long picture from the side that shows, that's a pretty good picture of the hauling trailer. And then there's a picture of the driveway area, and then also somewhere I thought there was a picture that shows how from the hauling trailer to the street, but I don't know that that matters that much. Okay, so when we realized that the hauling trailer was in fact over 18 feet, we knew that that was a violation of Chapter 8-30. So we delivered a copy of the ordinance information to Ms. Backus's house with a business card asking her to call if she had any questions. She did call, and we told her the procedure to issue a request for waiver, and she did that. So after that, code went out and made an actual inspection and measured everything. The hauling trailer is 28 feet long. And one thing which is probably not real significant, but the hauling trailer can only be 8 inches wide, or excuse me, 8 feet wide. Well, it measures 8 and 6 inches. Which probably doesn't make a lot of difference, but I did want to point that out. Just to mention, the area between the tongue of the hauling trailer and the street is 21 feet. Does anybody have any questions?
You said it's, how the trailer is
28 feet.
28 feet.
Is that from the base to the tip of the tongue, or?
Yeah, that is the entire trailer. It includes the tongue and all the way to the very end of it.
Well, that's 6 inch sidewise, maybe we could live with, but I'm not, the 10 foot in length is a problem.
Well, I'll sit down and let Ms. Backus speak unless you have further questions for me.
Okay, stay handy.
Okay.
Ms. Backus, your turn to ask us and give us some reasons for your waiver request.
I'm requesting permission to park my trailer there. I use my trailer 3 to 4 times a week. I'm a race car driver. The trailer is in and out of the property several times a week. but I do have all my supplies in it, my race car. I've never bothered any of the neighbors with the trailer. No one seems to be upset about it. And I mean, I'm a professional drag racer. Like I need my trailer to haul something I go to actually make like a part-time living doing. So, I mean, I depend on that trailer to get me back and forth to haul away. Sorry, go
Is the
ahead.
Cutlass that you got pictured there, is that your race car?
That's one of them. The trailer actually holds a 86 Firebird that is worth more than the trailer and a half of everything I have, honestly. So that's what I hold in the trailer.
Questions from Ms. Backus?
Is there any way you could park that trailer back beside the house a little bit? I can't quite see pictures.
Yes, I actually can. And there was gravel there a time before, which I had let it go and the mud and everything kind of washed it out. So I was gonna just like redo the side of the house, fix it where the trailer is not sticking out past the tree line when I am parked there. And I and do my best to keep it hidden away at all costs so I can keep it there. I will do what I got to do to make sure it's not visible to bother any of the neighbors.
Barb, what's your position on that?
Well, the trailer is not allowed on the property by ordinance.
Because of the length?
Yes, that's correct.
Even if it's beside the house?
No,
Doesn't matter.
no.
I'm requesting leniency. I mean, my children are teenagers. I'm just trying to let them finish Greenwood High School. And then I was planning on selling the house to move further out to a country area, so I fit in more appropriately. But at this time, I don't have the means. I mean, my house is worth a great deal, but there's not a lot of houses for me to go to. But I would really like my children to be able to finish Greenwood High School as well. I mean, that's the reason why I live there, is because for my kids, for the school district.
I know there are some places where you can rent some space, or I know people park boats, campers, and different. And there's several around here. I know there's one right down off of 31 in Pushville. There's a place there where they can park your trailer, RV, or boat.
Yes, I'm aware of what you're talking.
You have to go get it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but the problem is I will have to take my race car in and out every single time to make sure that it is parked somewhere safe. And that's why the trailer is very important, you know, for me to just be with it, because I can't leave my car in the trailer, even though it's behind a locked gate. You know, I mean, there's a lot of theft going on. People are aware of what's in that trailer.
Daniel, do you have a comment or thought?
It was one item, the option to park the trailer on the side of the house. It would, per the zoning requirements, it would still have to be on a hard surface, either concrete or asphalt. Commissioner had mentioned gravel, so I just wanted to bring it up.
And that would only be if it was in right size limits.
Yes.
The asphalt would be more affordable, right?
I'm sympathetic to you, but it is a clear violation of the ordinance.
We have some concerns about what kind of precedent that might set to other homeowners around the city who might want to park something in violation and we can enforce that.
I wanted to make one point. I hope this doesn't sound picky, but the idea that the neighbors are okay with it is not necessarily so. Because a lot of people don't know that they can complain. So I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you, Barb, yes. And a lot of times they don't want it, they might want to, they may have a problem with it, but they may not want
That's
to
right, that's
complain
what I'm
against their
saying.
neighbor. Well, I'm going to move that we deny the waiver request.
I'll say.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to deny the waiver request, say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Backus, I'm sorry, but I think that's what the city needs to do. And Barb,
Okay,
thank you.
so what am I supposed to do from here? I'm I mean, I don't understand what you guys, I guess I'm gonna put my house up for sale. I mean, I'm a licensed therapist. I'm not some bum off the street. I'm
Don't get mad.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I have donated to every single cause, almost everything for Greenwood, and I am asking for a little bit of leeway. So I'm just supposed to move my trailer and just be done, or take my kids out of school?
Well, and certainly our vote here tonight and our consideration of a request was not a negative reflection upon you at all, Ms. Backus. It's simply a matter of making certain that we consistently apply the ordinances as they've been drafted. Now, I mean, if you were telling us that, I don't think any of us up here are sitting here and saying that, well, you've got until 7 o'clock tonight to get that trailer out of here.
Whole year, 12 months.
But the trailer's only out in public in that view for a season. The rest of the time, I've had my trailer parked in the back, in the yard, and it's never been out in view. It's only out in that view for a season, and that's a half a year. So, like I said, I am willing to put the work in the foundation to keep my trailer, but I mean, I realize the trailer is long. I'm asking for more than what it is allowed, but there's also many car trailers parked on Averitt Road, which I personally know him. He's a race car driver and he has 3 or 4. So it's not that you're giving me more than other neighbors, because they have them as well. They're just not caught.
I don't know what the other neighbors or the other property locations are, but if there are some on Averitt Road, and you've mentioned those,
We'll check them out.
nuisance violation,
Yeah.
we'll check them out so we can fairly and adequately enforce our ordinances. I'm sorry, Ms. Backus.
Okay,
Next, we'll move on to Chief Ison. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to request approval of the contract with Gray Shift. This is computer licensing software that allows us to unlock and analyze iPhones. It's a 1-year contract that will have to be renewed annually.
Do we have this contract in place now?
No, that's a new product.
Questions for the chief?
It's used primarily for detectives.
Yes. Yeah, it will be used by our computer forensics detective. And we also, we do all cell phone forensics for Johnson County, every police agency and the county. We've kind of got an unwritten agreement with the other agencies for equipment sharing, if you will. The county and Barbersville typically send us drones when we need them. And we've got the detectives that are specially trained to do cell phone forensics. So we'll find the software to help them do it. And so this is just one piece of that puzzle, but it's an expensive piece. I understand that, but it allows us to do an awful lot.
Do you need a warrant to unlock a cell phone?
Well, we either need a warrant or permission and consent. Most of them come with warrants, yes. And iPhones, as you've, I'm sure, seen in different high-profile cases, Apple's not real friendly with law enforcement and helping us break codes and get into passcode locked iPhones. This software, more times than not, it doesn't always work, but more times than not, it will get us in quite quickly. And the other thing that it does is allow us, right now we have software that can extract data from both iPhones and Androids. But this is much more efficient. It extracts data quicker and more of the metadata that is within the iPhone. Everything we do today is stored on our phones, from our GPS locations to text messages, videos, photos.
What about if the iPhone changes the code and becomes impossible to break? Are we still obligated if they determine they can't break into the iPhone?
Well, the way this works is we purchase, we have unlimited data extraction, but for that year, we're purchasing 50 hard unlocks, which basically if they have a passcode lock and they're telling us, no, I won't give you the code, and we get a warrant, we can do that 50 times. They will unlock 50 times. If it doesn't unlock, I'm not 100% certain, but I just discussed this with the detective today. He said he's 99% sure that they credit us back that unlock. The problem with it is like right now we have a case that is 2 years old, that IMPD. Right now we set our phones up there to be unlocked, and it may take a year for them to get to it. And once they hook it up, if and this is a rare instance, but the algorithms and the different possibilities, it can take up to 10 years to unlock a phone. That's very seldom, but just for full transparency, it's a fickle process, so to speak.
I will note that it appears that if we approve this contract, that it will be for someone from the police department, so a designated chief to be the one to sign on behalf of it.
Well, I would move for approval with the chief to sign.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
Let's get harder and harder to get away with stuff.
Getting harder for James to do his job.
You know where you are at all times.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Next is Worthsville Commerce Center Phase 2, lots 1 and 2, Michael Armstrong.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me all right?
Can. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I am I'm here this evening to request permission for after-hours work associated with the construction of a couple industrial warehouse buildings at the southeast intersection of 250 East and Allen Road that you see on the screen there. Like you said, my name is Mike Armstrong. I'm with ARCO Design Build, and we are the design build general contractor working for Scannell Properties for this project. And there's a couple warehouse buildings, and the request simply is one that I think the board's seen before for construction in this area to perform work in the early hours, specifically for our concrete slab pours on those projects, where we would start work probably around 2 a.m. For the large floor slab pours. We wouldn't be doing any, any demolition work or rock excavation or large excavation. If you're looking at your screen there, the requests, the work would simply involve ready-mix concrete trucks coming north up 250 east there and taking a right into the property. They would tailgate the concrete out of the ready-mix trucks. So I guess that's the request. I think the board has seen it before, but I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
Mike, how long of a period of time you think you need this exemption?
We would be looking to pour concrete for this work specifically in the months this year, starting. Bear with me a second here. Probably August, mid-August through mid-October. So late summer through fall, through mid-fall. Mid-August to mid-October is what our schedule shows right now.
And if we didn't grant this request, is that going to double your production time or?
Yeah, it's more just an issue of quality control. All the reduced curling and issues with the joints in the slab pours of that size, and it's not something that can be poured during the day. I mean, it's not impossible, but it just greatly reduces the quality of the finished product. So.
Other questions from Mr. Armstrong or comments?
There's a housing addition directly north of this location. That would be the impact.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. There is, as part of the approved construction plans for these developments, there are a couple very large, and I think going up to 14 to 16 foot above finished grade right now. There are some large berms, topsoil berms that are built just south of Allen Road to shield that housing addition. So those will be fully in place when any of this early hours work is going on. So that will shield, greatly shield, any impacts of that, which again is just trucks, not any heavy machinery work or demolition or anything like that. So that'll be in place. And then also all the trucks will not be coming past that addition on Allen Road. They'll be coming from the south and turning off before.
Mike, are you back with us?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. We had a technical glitch, so we lost you for a while.
Okay, I'll start over. Can you still hear me all right?
Yes.
About the houses.
Okay, yeah. So my comment just on the concern with the housing addition there is, as part of the approved plans that have been approved by the city for this development, there's a large berm mound being built all the way along Allen Road that housing addition from any site really of the warehouse buildings. But those will be in place, and they get up to, I think, 16 foot above grade now. So they're large berms. Those will be in place. For one, when we do this early hours work. For the second, we won't actually be driving any trucks down the road past that addition. They'll all be coming out.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah. Mike, where does your trucks, where are they going to enter the project? Is it off of Allen Road?
No, they will not be coming down Allen Road at all. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So it's what, 250 east?
Correct. Yeah, they'll be coming from the south and will not go past the homes.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, do you have any thoughts you want to weigh in on this? Okay. Let me put you on the spot. Thank you.
seen it burn. I'd vote for it. I'd move to approve.
I'll second that. With the condition that traffic enters in off of 250. Correct.
Correct.
Further discussion?
And for the limited time that he
Right, through
proposed, August through October.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you.
Looking forward to getting it done. Derek Brown, Project BREW. Same area. Derek, are you with us?
Yes, Garrett's here.
Yeah, okay. Tell us what's going on.
We've finished out that project, submitted all closeout data, had final inspections, and are looking to close out the bonds with that project.
Daniel, we've got a memo from Paul, looks like an unconditional approval.
Yes, that is correct for Project BREW.
I move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you, Derek, for that one. We're going to have you stick around for South Point Business Park. Phase 2.
Yep. Correct. Again, all closeout data has been submitted, and guarantees have been forwarded. And I dropped off, Paul had sent me an email this morning that there was an outstanding balance that was also submitted today. So I believe everything for that project is closed out as well, and we're requesting a closeout bonds.
It looks to be true from Paul's memo.
I move for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Rutherford.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Derek, you've got one more.
All right.
Greenwood Park, 65 South. What are we doing here?
Is this the same?
Yes, sorry. Again, all closeouts had been previously completed, and we're just requesting to release bonds.
This one's actually accepting a performance bonds for.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, now I'm getting confused. Yes, those bonds were. I had dropped those off Thursday of last week.
So Paul's memo is to an unconditional acceptance of those.
Yeah, just one change here on the agenda, item number 2, acceptance and execution of inspection and testing agreements. Discussing those aren't necessary at this time, so that was just
Strike that.
strike that from the agenda.
I move that we approve, accept the performance guarantees.
Second. Mr. Rutherford, second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you, Derek. Have a good evening.
All right. Thanks all.
Let's move on to Craig Matty with Crew Car Wash at South Park Business Center. Craig, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what's going on here.
Similar to the previous item, we've completed all work, passed inspections, and submitted as-builts, and we're on the agenda to, I guess, get release of performance guarantees.
Daniel, it looks like the only condition is the receipt of the balance of the inspection and testing agreement. Is that correct?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second the question.
Further discussion?
Would this development be responsible, Daniel, this is for you, for replacement of the stop sign at the exit on Main Street? Because I think it's been hit or taken down.
That is actually a private
I know it's
street.
a private road.
It's a private road, and we've had both parcel on the east side, the Crew Car Wash, and on the west side, the Wendy's that have been under construction in the last year or two. But it would really be I think the commercial HOA or the property owner of that whole area that would be responsible.
Who enforces that?
Yes, I guess when it gets identified that something like that needs to be replaced.
I know the stop signs at the location just north of there, the four-way intersection, they had trouble with people hitting those stop signs, but they've been replaced in a timely manner, but the other one hasn't been.
So you're
I was
saying the
just
stop
curious.
sign as you leave the
Goes
street
south.
between.
When you
Car
exit
wash,
exit the
exit
car
car
wash and go south towards
Yeah.
Main Street,
gone.
it was gone.
I was
Yeah,
through the other day and didn't quite recognize.
I was just there.
So would that be something we would refer to you to look into, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay. That's my only question.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Kevin Riddle. Are you with us, Kevin?
Actually, my name's Brock Sears. I'm filling in
Hi,
for
Brock.
Kevin. He is on vacation.
Okay. I don't know why you allow that, but go ahead, Brock.
Well, we're here tonight to basically get the improvements accepted for the retreat section 2 and get the plat approved so we can go and get it recorded is what we're hoping to do. I have a memo and I'm aware of 3 outstanding issues that we're going to have to work through. 2 of those are fee related, and I'll have the checks in the morning. And then one of them is one of our bonds had was the wording was wrong. So I'm going to have to work through that to get that done.
Any questions for Brock? Those are the only conditions stated. Well, I'll move that we approve the request that's set forth by retreat section 2, subject to the 3 conditions set forth in Paul Leone's memo of today's date. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Brock. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you very much.
Jake Sneed on behalf of the Garrett companies. Someone in person, I like that. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, as you hit on, I am here on behalf of the Garrett companies tonight, which is a national multifamily real estate developer headquartered here in Greenwood, Indiana. I'm actually joined by, I believe, Ted, I don't know how they came out, my fellow interns, and they will be able to answer any questions if I can. But we are seeking permission to pursue our beautification project for 2 Indigo bus stops located here in Greenwood, Indiana. Our task this summer as an intern team was to come in under our $5,000 budget, completely at the expense of the Garrett companies, buy
Where do you go to school?
Indiana University.
Okay. Good. Okay, next, Neil Van Trees from Elmwood Estates.
Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can, thank you. Tell us what you'd like.
My name is Neil Vantries with Lennar Homes, and we have a subdivision Elmwood Estates. And before you are two different documents. One's right-of-way dedication along Emerson Avenue, and the second one is our drainage easement for outfall for our stormwater. With your approval, and you can sign those, and then we can go and record the property. And I will be coming back to you, hopefully by the next meeting, with the offsite sanitary easement and another right-of-way dedication on the west side of Emerson Avenue for the passing blister.
We've had one proposed condition to this, Neil, which was a review and approval by the legal department of the form of both of these documents prior to them being recorded. Any problem with that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Assuming it's not. Anything from your office, Daniel, other than that?
That was it.
Okay. Questions, or is there a motion for this matter?
I move we approve the acceptance of the dedication of the right-of-way and drainage easement.
Subject to that one condition?
Yes.
I'll say.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Neil. Have a good
All right,
evening.
thank you.
Next, we're going to move on to Joe Feltman from the Tom Wood Group, Stormwater Drainage and Sediment Control. Mr. Feltman, are you with us?
I am here. Can you hear me?
We can. Good evening.
Good evening.
We have your stormwater citation appeal form in front of us. Why don't you tell us what this is going on from your perspective?
Okay, so we inadvertently paved over a detention area that we didn't find out until we were mid-paving, that was even a detention area. It was just to us, it was a bunch of rock and rubble and old railroad ties and concrete blocks. So I got on the phone and traded emails with a couple people. I ended up talking to Dale Davis, and I was actually at the videoed into the tech meeting last Wednesday on the 16th. And we had some discussion with Dale and then Daniel Johnston. And Daniel advised us that we probably should hire a surveyor to look at that, to see what we needed to do to vacate the detention area or relocate it. So we've hired Roger Ward engineers to work on that. So in the meantime, I'd like to get the fines put on hold or whatever until we can figure this out.
Daniel, anything else from your perspective?
No, I think at the tech review meeting, we kind of discussed the initial steps as he mentioned.
So, Joe, you said that you got word somehow that when you were paving it, to stop paving, you had a problem there. Did you guys stop paving?
No, because we had everything mobilized. They were dumping asphalt when we found out. Christopher Jones actually stopped by and gave a card to, it's a used car sales facility, gave it to one of the salespeople. And by the time he got it to me, there wasn't really much I could do. If we have to cut it back out, we will. But we'd like to get it abated or vacated, I think is the proper term, or relocated, because it's right there along 31. It wouldn't look very good it never looked good from the road, so.
Mr. Jones, can I ask you how many, he's been given a warning violation, and he's also been, since that didn't effectuate a stoppage of the project, that there was another violation notice given?
Correct. One warning and 2 citations.
How frequently are these citations given?
Every time we notice the infraction.
So is it daily? Are they continuing
It
to add
can
up?
be daily.
So how much have they incurred to date?
The first citation is for 500, and the second is for 1,000.
So it's a $1,500 for the warning.
Warning.
And the warning is free, right, or zero? But then there's a 500, so $1,500 is what's owed now.
Correct.
Joe, what's the status of when this is going to be addressed?
So I hired Roger Ward Wednesday afternoon to start working on it. And I'm not really, forgive me, but I'm a car guy. I don't really know how the process works. But he's, going to work with you folks at the city and get on the next meeting to present something. But I'm not sure how often those meetings are, or if it's weekly, monthly.
Daniel, can you weigh in on that?
Sure. So on Wednesday, the tech review meeting, I kind of discussed very briefly the outline with Mr. Feldman, what he would have to do. He's hired Roger Ward engineers to work with them. He had identified the two options. To vacate it, that has a process that would include ordinance going through the council, through the three-meeting process through the council. The other option that was discussed was to potentially relocate the dry detention area to a different location on site, and that process would just follow the typical site development review process as any other site development.
I guess my concern is, I'm not sure it's a concern, but the fact that they were told to stop and then they didn't. I understand you may not have people who are experiencing that out there doing that, but that's still a problem for me. So I think that the current $1,500 should stand. If there's one to have a consideration about suspending further imposition of violation notices for a period of time, just to make certain that they do pursue this, rather than just letting it linger as a problem. That would be my take on it.
So are they gonna come back next month, or next meeting? Is that what I understood?
I'm guessing it wouldn't be that quick. Yeah.
No, it would, depending upon if they took the option of the vacating option, I believe they first have to go to the plan commission to get support or a recommendation from the plan commission, then through the common council for that process. Or if they choose the other option of doing more site design, that would probably take, I would say maybe 3 to 4 months before it was complete through that process.
So should we put this on hold right now?
Well, I think that my take is he's asking us to suspend any further violations. We could do that, keep these 2 violations in place right now and rule on it at a later time if he wants to appeal those violations. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but as long as he's going through the corrective action, then we can talk about this in a month or 2 or however long it
further
takes
violations at this point.
So he doesn't rack up fines every day.
I guess I'd like to put a time frame on that
Yeah.
when he completes that, and if it's 3 to 4 months, maybe we'll suspend further fines. I'm just talking here, for 4 months, and then have we're not seeing any progress. I just don't want these folks I understand that they may have hired people that are doing something, but they've got a problem out there we got a drainage issue was paved over after they were told to stop. So I think the fines should still stay in place, in my opinion. And then we could suspend further violation notices for a period of 4 months. Everybody's kind of nodding their head, so I'll make that my motion.
Second.
Further discussion. I guess maybe a question is the $1,500 still needs to be paid, I believe. And
go much longer than 4 months, you're getting into the season where they can't even get asphalt. I mean, I don't know exactly what that is, but I don't know.
And it may not be, that may not be the remedy. Chris, maybe this is in your bailiwick. When we issue a violation and a fine is issued, how long we typically give them to pay that?
Yeah, it goes through the courts system, city court. So if they don't pay, they'll go, but whatever that legal route is.
Okay, and so that's already been issued to the city court?
They have the copies of it.
Okay. So I just.
So your motion is just
to clarify, my motion is to not waive the already existing fines that are put in place, but the judicial proceeding go forward, but to suspend for a period of at least 4 months the imposition of any further violation notice.
Second.
Further discussion on that? Mr. Feltman, do you understand what the motion before us is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Feldman.
Thank you.
Anyone from the audience wish to address us? Seeing none, we'll turn to Mr. Hodson with the IDM compliance plan status update.
All's well with IDM.
That's always good to hear. And your status of tasks, Sam?
First up is an engagement letter with the Taylor Chad firm, and this is to condemn the property that was formerly used by Between the Bun restaurant. The building's in pretty sad shape, and the city has a need for more downtown parking.
Good idea.
What was it? What did it used to be called before that?
The Mexican
Casa
restaurant.
Miguel.
Casa Miguel, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been around a long time. Okay, is there a motion to approve that engagement?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is consideration of a professional service contract with Co-Engineering Surveying. This is for additional, a little bit of additional engineering services for the Honey Creek project, where it's a contract not to exceed $20,000. And Keith Meyer is here to address any questions you have about that issue.
What are we talking about, Keith? We're gonna make you get up and come forward. Bring your pay.
I think it's got to do with me at this moment. I believe the Honey Creek Interceptor sewer extension, which began about 2 years ago, the graphic drawing, engineering, is expired, so I think it would be great to have a new service contract to complete the Interceptor extension.
It's a necessary evil.
This is separate from the Western Regional project.
Yes, just the upper end over on the park side.
I would move we approve the request.
Second.
Further discussion?
That'd be for the mayor to sign.
Yes. The mayor's
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is a professional services agreement with city consultants, and these are the folks that assist us with our grant money. These CDBG grants have normally been between $330,000 and $360,000 a year. The reason that we need to purchase more assistance is that we received a CARE grant for over $500,000, so it's more than double the work.
This compensation on this is 96 grand.
Correct, total.
Right, it's just
Why
a,
bid with another 50 grand. Is there a motion to approve the second amendment? Also for the mayor to sign.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
My last item is consideration of funding for Art on Trailway, and this is renting a sculpture for an additional 2 years. And the name of this sculpture is Bright Days. This is it.
Looks just like the deputy mayor.
It does look a lot like the deputy mayor.
We're gonna call it, should we call it Hopper statue or something?
Hopper Way.
Hopper Way. Is that replacing anything that's out there, or is it in addition?
No, this is just extending this one.
Okay.
This is a popular sculpture.
Okay. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Sam. Next, Daniel.
All right, I have one item for you. This is related to the Honey Creek Interceptor Sanitary Sewer Extension Project. We actually had the bid letting last Friday. We have received 3 bids. Atlas Excavating, Subsurface Indiana, and Clark Excavation Utility. Or you should have a memo listing those bids. Actually, at this time, our recommended motion is to reject all bids that we received. There's 2 reasons why. We did have an engineer's estimate that was a lower amount than the 3 bids, so we want to be able to reevaluate that aspect of it in terms of funding and budgeting. And the second, when the bids were reviewed by the city legal, they realized that all 3 bidders were non-responsive. They neglected to include a written plan for a program to test the contractor's employees for drugs as required by Indiana Code, section 4-13-18-5. So for those 2 reasons, we are recommending to the board check the bids as being non-responsive, as well as above the engineer's estimate, and to authorize the staff to rebid the project.
So moved.
Second. Is that fairly unusual? Is this fairly unusual?
Which aspect over?
Well, to
cost?
reject all bids and do it.
Unusual, yes, but it does happen.
Great discrepancy. Price of bids, too. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Daniel. Mr. Wright, anything from you?
Nothing from me.
Thank you, Greg.
I'll move for approval of the claims as submitted.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you all. We'll stand adjourned at 6:37.
Do you
sign anything?